So first we will be practicing Satipatthana meditation before the Dhamma talk. So please sit straight, not too stiff, not too relaxed. Cross leg, the upper body upright, not too stiff, not too relaxed. Close the eyes and please breathe normally. Breathing normally, keeping the focus of attention on the abdomen. When the abdomen rises, make a soft mental note, rising. So the noting rising should be concurrent with the actual rising of the abdomen. Noting rising. When the abdomen falls, keep concurrent noting falling. In this way, keep the primary object rising, falling, rising, falling. When noting rising, falling, one should aim the noting mind, direct the noting mind onto the object of meditation and make effort in order to note rising, falling. So in this way, aim the mind, direct the mind onto the object, make effort, put effort to be able to note the object rising, falling, rising, falling. If one has problem noticing the rising, falling, one can put the palm of the hand on the abdomen and note rising, falling, rising, falling. If there are others who have been practicing other methods before, that if they have problem noting rising, falling, if they mix up between rising, falling, and if they mix up between rising, falling and the nostrils, one can keep sitting, touching as the primary object. Sitting, be mindful, be aware of the whole body sitting, the legs crossed, the upper body upright. Keep the awareness on the whole body sitting, note it as sitting. Touching, be mindful of the touching of the buttock and the cushion, touching and touching. Sitting, another touching with the two hands touching and touching. So in this way, if one has problem noting rising, falling, one can be noting sitting, touching of the buttock and the cushion touching, sitting, the two hands touching and touching. While noting the primary object, rising, falling, or sitting, touching, when pain arises in another part of the body, focus on it, note it as pain, pain. And when pain goes away, come back to rising, falling, or sitting, touching. While seeing the primary object, when the mind wanders, note it as wandering a few times, and then come back to the primary object. While noting the primary object, at times, When one visually see object, noted as seeing, come back to primary object. Or at times, when the mind is distracted to hearing, then noted as hearing a few times, come back to primary object. Or when sleepiness arises, if sleepiness becomes obvious, make the effort to note it as sleepy. If boredom arises, note it as bored. And when sleepiness goes away, come back to the primary object. So quietly, we will be doing the sitting meditation. Okay. We can now start with the Dhamma talk.
Yes, Shali.
So today's topic, as you have seen, today's topic is Go Ahead and Reign. So this was said by Venerable Subhuti. Venerable Subhuti was a younger brother of Anathapindika. So all of you have heard that the disciple Anathapindika offered the Jetavana monastery to the Buddha. Anathapindika disciple, on his first seeing of the Buddha, listening to the Dhamma, he became a Sotapanna and he offered the Jetavana monastery to the Buddha. On the day that the Jetavana monastery was offered to the Buddha, the brother, the name Subhuti, he also, together with the brother Anathapindika, listened to the Dhamma given by the Buddha. And this brother Subhuti, listening the Dhamma, he built up saddha, faith and confidence that he renunciated. Anathapindika, who was already a Sotapanna, he did not renunciate. He stayed in the worldly life. But the younger brother, Subhuti, after listening to the Dhamma, his saddha, faith and confidence were very strong that he left the worldly life. He left the worldly life, he left his business in order to renunciate and ordain as a bhikkhu. Subhuti, after being ordained, practiced in the forest. He practiced vipassana meditation based on the Nitta jhana, based on the Nitta absorption. He practiced vipassana and became an arhat. Venerable Subhuti, he was outstanding in two aspects. So Buddha praised him for his outstandingness in two aspects. The first one is that among the Arana Vikari means the person who lives in purity, being free from defilements. So among the Arana Vihari, Venerable Subhuti was the most outstanding. He was outstanding in the way of giving Dhamma talk. When Venerable Subhuti gave Dhamma talk, he does not put emphasis on the person, but the Venerable put emphasis in the
Yes, Shali, can you?
Yes.
Yes, I missed some sentence, Shali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Venerable Subhuti, when giving the Dhamma talk, he gave the Dhamma talk emphasizing not on a person, but emphasizing on the Dhamma. For example, when giving Dhamma talk, the Venerable doesn't say a greedy person, such and such bad consequences arising to this greedy person. He does not say as a person. He does not emphasize on the person. But instead, the Venerable may say, such and such bad consequences arise due to greed. So in this way, when giving talk, he does not emphasize on the person, but he emphasized on the Dhamma. So in this way, the Venerable gives the Dhamma talk in general, emphasizing on the Dhamma without giving a personal hint, without giving emphasis on the person. So in this way, the Dhamma talk that the Venerable gave was pure. The speech of this Venerable has purity, and this is one aspect of being outstanding among the Arana Vihari. The most outstanding Venerable among the Venerable who live in purity, being free from defilements. Another outstandingness of this Venerable is that Venerable Subhuti was most outstanding among those who are worthy of offering. This is because when Venerable Subhuti went on alms round, in every house that he received donation, in every house he stand for alms offering, Venerable absorbed in Metta. Venerable go into Metta jhana, Metta absorption in every house before receiving the offering. In order for the donors to get most benefit, that's why the Venerable go into the Metta jhana in each of the house before receiving the offering. So in this way, Venerable Subhuti was outstanding among those who are worthy of offering. So in this way, the Buddha also recognized Venerable Subhuti as the most outstanding in two ways. The first one is Venerable Subhuti was the most outstanding among the Arana Vihari most outstanding among those who live in purity, being free from defilements. And another way is that Venerable Subhuti was the most outstanding among those who are worthy of offerings. Venerable Subhuti went from place to place teaching. So going from one place to another, from place to place teaching, Venerable Subhuti reached Rajagaha. When the king, Bimbisara, heard that Venerable Subhuti has arrived in Rajagaha, the king approached the Venerable and have conversation, asked, Venerable, where are you residing? And so on. And the king made a promise that the king will build a kuti for the Venerable. But after telling the Venerable that he will build a kuti for him, but afterwards, the king forgot about it. Because the king had forgotten about building a kuti, so the Venerable didn't have a kuti. So the Venerable just stayed outside in the open. The commentary didn't say how long the king forgot about it, but the Venerable had to be staying out in the open. So it seems to be like the rain season had started to approach. But because the Venerable was out in the open, because of the power and splendor of the Venerable, that the Venerable, the rain, it didn't rain at all. It was already the rainy season. It didn't rain. So the people had problem. The people had problem because it did not rain. So these people gathered outside of the palace and they were shouting because there was no rain. So when the king tried to figure what is the reason that there was no rain, then he figured out it's because the Venerable had been living out in the open that it did not rain. Then the Raja, the king, made a kuti, built a kuti with leaves. So during that time, the kuti, the small kuti, they were roofed with leaves or weed. So after building a kuti with leaves, the king told the Venerable, Venerable, please reside in this leaf kuti, and then paid respect and left. The Venerable entered the kuti, and then on a grass mat, the Venerable sat cross-legged. So just as the Venerable went into the kuti, sat on a grass mat, cross-legged, the rain, it just started to rain, just a slight rain, just a light rain started, but not heavily. What the Venerable said when the rain just dropped just a little bit, what the Venerable said was, Channa me kutika sukha nivata. So I will explain word by word. Yeah. Chana. Chana means root. So in this kuti, the roof was made of leaves. Chana. Me kutika means my kuti. Sukha. Sukha means comfortable or convenient. Because the kuti was comfortable, convenient, it is said as sukha, comfortable, convenient. Because it was not too cold, not too hot. The temperature was suitable. And because this kuti was convenient, it can also it is also conducive for physical well-being, mental well-being. That's why it is sukha. Niwata. Niwata means it shelters from the wind, because if the windows are closed, so one doesn't have problem from strong wind. So in this way, the kuti is well roofed. The rain cannot come in. It was comfortable and convenient, not too cold, not too hot, just comfortable, being shelter from the rain. And Venerable said, Vassa Deva Yatha Sukhan. Vassa Deva Yatha Sukhan means rain for all you want. Rain as much as you like. The Venerable said this because the Venerable already had a suitable kuti, that there is no trouble or no problem, even if it rains heavily. And also it is a way of staying in favor of people who has to depend on rain. So that's why the Venerable say, rain for all you want, rain as much as you like. Saita me susamahita vimota. Meaning that Saita me susamahita. Susamahita means well concentrated. Venerable's mind is well concentrated. The mind has one pointedness of mind. The mind has been concentrated on the object of meditation. So in this way, Venerable's mind is well concentrated. It has one pointedness of mind. Vimodam. Vimodam. Vimoda means free. It's the mind is being free from nivarana hindrances, because the venerable was already an arahat. So the venerable's mind is totally free from hindrances. And not only the nivaranas that the venerable was free from, but also the samyojana, the fetters. The venerable was totally free from the 10 factors, the 10 samyojana, the lower 5, as well as the upper 5 samyojana. The venerable was totally free. That's why it is said that the mind was vimota. The venerable's mind was totally free from all these defilements. Atapi viharami vassa deva. So even though the venerable was totally free from all the defilements. The Venerable did not take it easy, that the Venerable lived striving, atapi, means ardent effort. Even though the Venerable was already an Arahat, but the Venerable is still striving ardently. Not that the Venerable is striving to get rid of the defilements, because the Venerable doesn't have this task anymore, being an Arahat. But the Venerable strives hard, strives ardently in the Vipassana in order to have Palasamapati, in order to live in this fruition, absorption, in order to have Detta Dhamma Sukha Vihara, in order to live in peace. In the present, the Venerable has been practicing diligently, striving with ardent effort in the Vipassana for this Palasamapati, the absorption, fruition absorption, as well as Detta Dhamma Sukha Vihara. And also the Venerable also practice the Metta Jhana to make the donor bring more benefits. So in this way, the Venerable is keeping ardent effort in the practice of Vipassana as well as the Metta Jhana. So the verse that the Venerable uttered, so this meaning has been explained. So it is said that this verse has two meanings. The first meaning is that because the kuti has a well roof and away from the wind, so this is the ordinary meaning. But there is also another meaning that is more profound, that is in the Dhamma sense. So in the Dhamma sense, let's look at the verse. Chana me kutika sukha nivata. Chana means closed. Kutika here can mean the individual. So what it means, Chana me kutika, it means that the individual, the Venerable, has a closed door, meaning that the sense door has been closed, protected, that the defilements such as raga cannot enter. So in this way, it is said that the individual, the Venerable, has been closed because defilements cannot go through from the sense door. The Venerable is having the sense door well closed, well protected, because he was an Arahat. His sense doors are well protected. The doors, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, these doors has been well protected. There is restraint. Indriya samvara, meaning the faculty, the restraint of the faculty. The sense doors has been protected so that the defilement cannot arise at these sense doors. In this way, it is that Jana me kutika. dukkha. There is dukkha because there is no kilesa. So the kilesa suffering are totally free, and thus there is dukkha. Nivada. Nivada means because the Venerable is already Arahat, it is Nivada because mana conceit is mada, intoxication, tamba, lack of respect, saramba, cruelty. Such things have already been destroyed. So it was Nivada. So this is the other meaning in the Dhamma sense, which is more profound. Jana me kutika sukha nivada. Vasa deva yatha sukha. Let it rain. Rain for as much as you want. But in this sense, the rain can be not ordinary rain, but kilesa such as raga. These kilesa are compared to rain. Siddha me susamahita vimoda. The Venerable's mind, there is susamahita because the Venerable's mind is well concentrated. The mind has been well concentrated by attaining the Arahata Magga. So the mind has been well concentrated. Vimoda. The mind is free from all the kilesa, samyojana, by the panya, attain arahata panya. So the mind has been well concentrated by having attained the arahata magga samadhi. And the mind is totally free from defilements by having attained arahata panya. And atapi viharami, meaning the Venerable was striving with ardent effort in order to bring the benefit of the beings. When going from alms round, the Venerable practiced the Metta Jhana in order to bring more benefit for the donors. In this way, the Venerable has been practicing with ardent effort. Vasa Deva. So if you want to please me, go ahead and rain much. If you want to please me, go ahead and rain much. In compassion for the beings who have to depend their livelihood on rain. So in this way, the verse that the Venerable had uttered, it has both meaning. There can be two meanings. The meaning in the worldly way, the meaning in the Dhamma way. So this is quite inspiring for us also. The Arahat, because the Venerable was an Arahat, the sense doors were closed. It was well roofed through Arahata Panya, Arahata Samadhi. The mind was totally free. So that's an inspiration. For us too, we have to practice in order to keep ourselves closed from the defilements. So it's very important to have mindfulness. So for us, in order not to let the defilements arise, we have to practice mindfulness. Whenever we see, we have to be mindful. If we are not mindful, based on what we see, if there is no mindfulness, there can be greed, there can be anger, there can be delusion. One might say, we live in worldly life. How can we keep our eyes, ears protected? Yes, we live in the worldly life, but we can do it moment by moment. We can do part-time. For the time being, we have to keep on practicing Satipatthana meditation. So when one has time, for example, in one day, if you have 1 hour, during the 1 hour, we can be mindful. And during the daily activities also, we can keep mindfulness, general mindfulness, as much as we can. So apart from the time one has responsibility in business or with family, one can set up a time for oneself to practice mindfulness. So when one has time, make time to be mindful, seeing, mindful in hearing, mindful in smelling, mindful in tasting, mindful in touching, mindful in thinking. It may not be easy, but if one keep on practicing, even in daily life, we can try to be mindful as much as we can in the daily activity, as well as to set up a specific time for the Dhamma practice. Having heard the inspiration utterance by the Venerable Subhuti, we can also relate to the Dhammapada verse 13 and 14. So in the verse 13 and 14, the Buddha said, if the house is poorly roofed, rain can leak in. In the same way, defilements such as raga can enter the mind that is developed with bhavana practice. When the house is well roofed, rain cannot leak. In the same way, defilements such as raga cannot arise in the mind that is well developed with bhavana practice. The Venerable Subhuti can challenge because Venerable had already got to the final goal that no kilesa can leak in. So Venerable Subhuti could make this challenge to the kilesa defilement. For us, we have not yet reached to that stage, but this is our target, our goal. We need to be practicing Satipatthana meditation, part-time meditation retreat, as much as we can. If we are mindful for one moment, for that moment of being mindful, defilement does not arise. So in this way, we have to accumulate moment by moment of being mindful, being concentrated, in order to keep the defilement rain away so that defilement rain cannot leak in. So we have to go from moment to moment, part-time, meditation retreat, in order to reach the stage where our mindfulness, concentration, and panya will reach the fully accomplished to the stage, like in the Venerable Subhuti. So with this talk, I would like to encourage, we need to practice in order to develop sati, to protect our sense doors from defilements, and to develop panya so that the defilements will get weaker and weaker until finally we will be also like Venerable Subhuti, having the roof fully completed so that the defilement rain cannot leak in. So with this Dhamma practice, with this kusala of listening to the Dhamma, and then we will pay respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Yeah? So we will say Imaya, Dhammanu Dhammapatiya, Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. Okay? Yeah. Imaya Dhammanu Dhammapatipatiya Buddham Pujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhammapatipatiya Dhammam Pujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhammapatipatiya Sangham Pujemi Idam me punyam asavakaya vaham hotu imano punyam magaphalanyanasa pachayo hotu imano punya bhagam sabba sattana tema sabbe satta sukhita hontu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you so very much, Shali, for
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
the very profound teaching for all of us, Shali.